Hey, hey, hey. Today I'm going to talk about marriage because a lot of people I know are getting engaged and getting married and doing all of that kind of stuff. You know, what you're supposed to do or what society tells you you're supposed to do. So I've been thinking about this topic more than usual as of recently. So, yeah, the origin of marriage isn't really what you think it would be. It was actually based upon political alliances. So kings would marry their daughters off with other kings in order to forge alliances that would be to their benefit. So it was originated not because of love or not out of love, but as a political tool. And we see that today because it's legal contracts basically. All right, so that's how it started, and it's based upon possession. Like if you look at the word husband, it's closely related to husbandry. It's like animal husbandry. So it's like the husband owns the wife like she's a piece of livestock. It's based upon ownership and political, it's gaining political prowess and ownership. So it's very, very ego possessive, power driven type of paradigms that the system of marriage developed in. So that's that. That's the basis of marriage. And then you have engagement, which there's a really funny video on College Humor, and it really lays out how the whole process of engagement and engagement rings is one big marketing ploy by the De Beers company. So De Beers basically has a monopoly on the diamond mines on Earth, so they can artificially regulate the supply and therefore control the cost of diamonds. So diamonds aren't that rare, it's just that De Beers monopolizes it and therefore controls the cost of them. So you can artificially inflate the prices. So they came up with this marketing plan, I think it was in the 1920s, that you give the husband, or when you're engaged, you give your potential wife a ring, and it's supposed to be an expensive diamond ring, and De Beers owns all the diamonds, so they're making a killing off of this, and they made it a societal norm. You have to buy this expensive ring to get engaged before you marry someone. It's all based upon a marketing ploy. And it has nothing to do with love. It's just for De Beers to make money. And also, a ring is a symbol of Saturn and control and ownership as well. So this ties back to the whole thing with marriage being ownership, and it's all control based. And another aspect of this that I've been thinking about is when you have legal contracts with someone else, okay? You're together not based upon your passion. So your passion and your mutual love for each other is not holding you together, but you're being held together by a legal contract. And to me, that sucks the fire and the passion out of a relationship. It's akin to like when you have to read a book for summer reading, you know, in school. When it's mandatory for you to read a book, you're not going to read it with the same passion and that same, like, yeah, it's just that passion and that sense of drive. And you're not going to cherish it like you would if you were to choose to read it on your own. So I really think forcing legalities upon a relationship, it sucks the wind out of the sails of love and passion. Because I think people should choose to be together in every moment. That makes it more genuine. Instead of like you're signing a contract that is going to determine what you're going to do for the rest of your life. I think it would be way more love-based and more harmonious for people to choose to be together throughout the process, and it'll make the romantic relationship more passionate. You know, if they're there because they want to be there, not because some contract tells them to do so, and they're going to learn and grow together and do that. And yeah, if if you look into what we are doing in today's society, divorce rates are crazy. I think it's more than half of couples get divorced now, something like that. It's obviously not working out. The way we're doing things, it's not working out, and it's not harmonious. And I'm not saying there's a specific way to do things. I'm not saying everyone should have an open relationship or everyone should be polygamous or polyamorous or any of the other ways of doing things, because I think once you have one set system for everyone to do, there's going to be dysfunction. But societies have existed on all of those paradigms. There have been monogamous societies, polygamous, polyamorous, and all of the above. Societies have thriven, if that's even a word. They've thrived off of every paradigm of interpersonal relationships. And it's like diet too. Meat eaters will say that, this society did so good by eating whale blubber and things like that. And vegans will say like this society was vegan. But humans have thrived under a diverse amount of conditions with everything. So I think you can't pin humans down to one particular paradigm, and everyone has to really find out what's best for themselves. And that leads me to the next point, because I think the dysfunction with divorces and everything we're seeing, I think it comes from not knowing thyself and not being in touch with yourself. And when you're disharmonious within yourself, any relationship you enter is going to be disharmonious as a result. So that's the foundation of it, to be harmonious within yourself and develop that first. And if I think about it, like, it's kind of sad in a way, but I can't think of people that I personally know that are in a marriage that is my ideal, that they idealize that like partnership and working together towards things, and they have a very, very healthy relationship. I can't think of two people that are in that epitomize that. And it's kind of, in a way, it's disheartening. But the reason for that, I don't think it's necessarily the paradigm of two people being together for a lifetime, because I really think that myself personally would thrive off of a lifetime partnership. Not necessarily with legal contracts involved, like I just said, but having someone that could be my partner for the rest of my life. That's another topic too. But it comes down to doing the inner work first. So because very few people get in tune with their emotions, very few people meditate on a regular basis, so they're able to objectively observe their thoughts and emotions. And from that place, you speak honestly with whoever your partner is. So when you have that going on, when you're in tune with your genuine desires and you're honest with people, that is going to create a harmonious relationship. But most people are not in tune with themselves. They go about life blindly, stumbling through the dark, and they have these patterns that they're unaware of, disharmonious patterns, and they have so much trauma that are unconsciously running their decisions and sabotaging themselves. Of course they're going to be in disharmonious relationships because they're in a disharmonious relationship with their self. So it's going to manifest outward. So I don't even know where I was. Yeah. So it's not necessarily the paradigm of partnership, but it's getting in touch with yourself. And then the honesty is a big part of it, because two people might not always be on the same path, You might meet up for a little bit, but people might be going separate directions, and it's good to determine that, especially if you're going to have kids, which you need to really be ready to have kids, because kids need a support system. They need love, and different kinds of love. They need a masculine type of energy. They need a feminine type of energy. And the male might even have the feminine type of energy, and the woman might have the masculine type of energy. You know, I'm not one to think there's rigid gender roles where we can all be flexible. But yeah, with that honesty, you can work out with whoever you're with where you're going. And if you're not on the same path, you don't have to stick together. And that's why it's important, if you're going to have children with someone, or you're going to want to spend the rest of your life with someone, to really be open and honest with them and find out that you're, you know, resonating on the same wavelength. You want to be on the same path, you know. You're not going, like, it's going to be very disharmonious if you just hastily choose to be with someone for the rest of your life and have kids with them if you're obviously going on different paths. You know, that's going to create so much dysfunction. So you have to really be honest and figure out if you're going on the same path with someone. Because, like I said before, especially with children, because especially during their formative years, you need to be there for them. You know, there needs to be parents or some kind of tribal structure, but most of us don't live in a tribal structure. So you have to have parents and aunts, uncles, grandparents. You have to have all of those kind of influences to create healthy children and allow children to develop in a loving household and have people to be there for them when they need it. You know, you can't neglect kids because that's traumatic for them, and that perpetuates the cycle of abuse and traumatic experiences and all of that kind of stuff. So it's important to be mindful, be honest with people, make sure you're on the same path with someone, you know. And yeah, you can't own someone either. That this is my wife or this is my husband. You know, that's egoic ownership. We don't own anyone else. You know, you have to live and let live. And ownership creates dysfunction itself. You know, you have to allow each person to be themselves. And that's why I think it's a matter of choosing, you know, continuously choosing to be with someone and to make sure you're on the same path. And you have to let your partner do what genuinely makes them happy instead of trying to control and things like that. Yeah, so I don't have a definitive answer for what humans should do, you know, because once you have a definitive answer, you can't make everyone do the same thing. That's because we're all unique. Like I said, there's societies that did well and operated harmoniously on all types of paradigms, both with sexual orientation, not even sexual orientation, but like relationships and, you know, how they ate. Humanity can live off of a diverse array of ways of living. So there is no one thing, but it comes down to getting in tune with yourself and being honest and getting in tune with your genuine desires and acting from there and being honest with the people you encounter and being honest with the people you choose to commit to. You know, you have to be open and honest for things to be harmonious. If you're hiding things, all kinds of dysfunction takes place. If you're suppressing things, it's going to come out in perverted ways. You know, that's why when things are suppressed, that's when cheating happens and, you know, abuse happens and jealousy happens. You can't suppress. You have to work through things. You have to have a teammate, a partner where you can work through your own problems and work through the challenges of a relationship, because nothing is perfect either. So, yeah, to reiterate, get in tune with yourself first. You know, that's why I think having that journey where after you get raised by your own parents, having that journey where you really explore yourself. You know, you have years of being on your own 2 feet, being independent, traveling, exploring, really getting to know yourself before you hastily jump into a lifelong commitment. You know, Because if you jump into those commitments without knowing yourself and without having harmony within yourself, that disharmony is going to manifest in those external relationships as well. So, yeah, that's all I got. Know thyself and be honest. Alright? It's all love, baby. Alright, peace, peace, much love, and one love.